Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about committing to yourself and saying, I do. Committing to yourself and saying, I do. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lynn Schroeder, and I empower men and women to step outside of their comfort zone and begin living a life and running a business that they could have never imagined. Now, let's get back to this commitment of saying I do to yourself. Here's where this video is coming from. This past weekend, my husband and I celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary. It's so weird to even say that because it really does seem like it's only been 10 years, 15 years, not 28 years. So I've been doing a lot of thinking over the this past weekend about commitment and how a couple can last 28 years, and really, you know more couples that have lasted longer by far. But the commitment that you make to your significant other when you say, I do. Now, that happened, my anniversary, but then on Friday, before this really even came around, my business coach, I'm a coach, but I also know the value of having a coach myself. My business coach spoke these words to me. We talked about some goals and he said, have you really made a commitment to that? Wow. Wow, that was a really very profound thing that he could say to me, because I was able to say, no, I didn't make a commitment to that because I was making excuses. So here's where the video is coming from. Him saying that and me and my husband celebrating 28 years. Commitment, saying I do to each other is very similar to saying I do to you. Let's talk about the definition of commitment. A commitment definition is dedication to a person, a cause, or a thing. Dedication to a person, a cause, or a thing. Now here are some synonyms for commitment. Loyalty, devotion, allegiance, bond, fidelity, attentiveness. To be committed means you are loyal to something. You are bonded to something. You will be extra attentive to something. You will show devotion to something. So let's talk about how similar the commitment you have to a significant other or a spouse is to the commitment you should have to yourself. And then I want to take it a step further and talk about the commitments that you can make in the pursuit of your success. So let's talk about the relationship between a marriage and a commitment to you. Now, before you get married and in those early years of marriage, and hopefully it goes on, right? You enjoy each other's company. You cannot wait to get on the phone with them. And usually a phone call with someone that you're just dating and you're just barely married is really like, what you doing? Oh, nothing. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. I just like to hear your voice. That kind of thing. You enjoy each other's company. You have deep conversations, not like the one I just showed you, but you get to know each other. You get to know that person's likes or dislikes. I know my husband loves mint chocolate chip ice cream and he doesn't like wheat bread. You know that they are your best friend. You get to brag on your significant other, your spouse. You know, you tell your friend, did you know what my husband just did? He is such a great provider for my family. He did this. You brag on them. Now let's talk about that same type of commitment, but what it looks like to you. Can you say that you enjoy spending time with yourself? Do you enjoy being quiet and just spending time with yourself? Do you get to know yourself by asking questions? What do you like? What do you dislike? What are your dreams? What are your passions? Do you talk about what makes you unique? Do you pick out your uniqueness like you would your spouse? There's a reason why you're sticking with your significant other or your spouse, because they're unique. They have what you want. Can you say the same thing about yourself? Do you downplay your accomplishments instead of not bragging, but just acknowledging your accomplishments? Do you commit to that? Okay, so that's one way. Now let's talk about the other kind of commitment within a relationship and how it's similar, or it should be similar, in your personal life. In a marriage or in a commitment, you are with that person through good times and bad, through the rough times and the smooth times. You support each other. You cheer each other on. Can you say that about you? Do you cheer yourself on? Are you with yourself in good times and in bad, or do you give up? Do you give up easily? Here's another one. In a marriage or in a relationship, in a committed relationship, you take care of the way you look because you know that's what the other person likes. Do you take care of yourself? Are you getting enough rest? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Are you having enough me time? Are you feeding into everybody else instead of feeding into you? Now here's another side of that though. Just like in a committed relationship or in a marriage, when maybe you don't look the way that you did when you first got married or when you first started dating, you don't leave that other person because of that, right? You accept them the way they are. Do you have self-love? No matter what, do you love yourself the way you are, like you would a significant other or a spouse? Some things to think about. Now let's talk about the commitment that you make in the pursuit of your success. Now, you know, if you've watched any of my videos, success is not always the word I like to use, because really I believe it's not so much success, but the significance that you can leave in the world and the value you can leave in the world in your business. So the truth is, there's no shortcuts to success or significance. You have to follow that long, windy road, ups and downs and falling down, but you have to be 100% dedicated in the pursuit of significance, in the pursuit of success. So the first commitment you need to make to yourself is to say, I do, to believing in yourself. I do. I believe in myself. Can you say that? You know, other people believing in you is just half of the equation. You've got to believe in yourself. They can believe in you, but you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to take ownership in order to be succeed in your business. You need to check your mindset. Check your beliefs. Check those stories that you're telling yourself. What are you believing in yourself, or are you telling yourself stories that you brought with you from childhood about you're not really good at that, or you really should be quiet instead of speaking your mind? What are you telling yourself? Are you writing down? Are you writing down the great things about yourself? Are you journaling? Do you write down your strengths, your uniqueness, your accomplishments? Those are affirming things. And by the way, I'm just going to give a little shameless plug right here. I have 7 days of affirmation that I will send to you in your email inbox if you don't have the capability of affirming yourself. I'd love to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the comments below. But the first thing you need to say I do to is yourself and your belief in you. The second thing to how to commit to yourself is to say I do to being coachable. Be a learner, not a know-it-all. I absolutely love to learn things. I love to read, so read, ask questions, listen to podcasts, be a sponge for learning. Say I do to being coachable, but here's the caveat. There comes a time when you have to think on your own too. You can't just regurgitate everybody else's ideas. There's no copycatting. You need to have original ideas as well. So be coachable, but be original and have original thoughts. Number 3, the third thing that you need to be committed to is to say I do to massive action. You've got a goal, you've got things you want to accomplish. You need to make sure you're committed to massive action. Do you plan? Do you time block? Do you set SMART goals? I did a blog on those one time. You can go to my website and find those, but I will tell you right now, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals. Do you set goals for yourself? Have you said I do to getting it done? There are awesome apps to help you stay on task. There's an app called Calendly. There's an app called Meet Edgar. There's an app called Slack. There's an app, there's your Google Calendar. There's Google Notes. There's a ton of shortcuts out there to help you stay on task and do massive action every day and commit to yourself by saying I do. I will do that. Number four, say I do to saying yes and saying no. Now here's what I mean by that. Saying yes to stepping outside of your comfort zone. I just had a call with somebody today. She wanted coaching. And I love having phone calls like that because I love to hear somebody's dreams, their goals, their plans. And I love to be at their elbow to help them along. I never give them, tell them what to do, but I love as a coach to usher them along and help them get clarity and help them get direction. And she said to me, this is what I want to do, but I'm so afraid to do it. I'm so afraid to do it. I love systems and I love comfort and I'm afraid to do it. And I said to her, you've got to say yes to the difficult things. So say I do, commit to saying yes to the difficult things because frankly, nothing changes until something changes, right? But you also have to say no to some things because every time you say yes to something, you also say no to something. So perhaps you have to make sure you say no in this season of your life for those little extracurricular, maybe those shopping sprees or those night out with the girls. Now those are good sometimes, but when you've got a goal in front of you, sometimes you have to say no to those extracurriculars. Number 5, last one, you need to say I do. You need to commit by saying I do to never giving up. Slow and steady sometimes is better than intensity. Consistency is sometimes better than intensity, so have faith. Rome wasn't built in a day. Delays are not denials. They're just delays. And we all fall down. We all fail. But like I said in my last blog that I just did last week, failure is a bruise. It's not a tattoo. So say I do, commit to never giving up. So in conclusion, you've got to commit. You have to say I do to yourself in your life and in the success of your business. I love this quote. I'm going to end with it. It says, this quote is by T.D. Jakes. I love him. And he says, you cannot conquer what you are not committed to. So girl, what do you want to conquer? What is that thing that you want to conquer? You have to say, I do, and commit to it. So thank you for watching. If you got value out of this, I'd love for you to hit the share button and share that with a friend, or tag a friend in the comments below. Now in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and put those 7 days of daily affirmations, and I'll also add my website so you can see those blogs on failures are not tattoos, but they're just bruises. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.